In this moment, you don't need a stronger grip on life. You need a kinder grip on you. If your mind is loud and your chest feels crowded, I'm not here to push you past it. I'm here to offer you a sentence you can stand on, like a warm floor under bare feet. Overwhelm can feel like a storm that arrived without permission, carrying noise, pressure, and too many tabs open inside your head. And yet, right here, there is a small doorway back to peace that does not require you to fight yourself. You don't have to become someone else to feel steadier. You don't have to prove your strength by suffering in silence. You can come back gently, the way you would come back to a room you love. Let your attention rest on something simple for a second. The weight of your body where it meets the chair or the bed. The feeling of your hands, maybe open, maybe curled, doing their best. The air moving in and out, not as a task, just as proof that life is still happening for you. Nothing dramatic is required, just one gentle return. You might think you're overwhelmed because you're not doing enough. But often you're overwhelmed because you have been doing too much for too long with too little tenderness. You've been carrying responsibilities, expectations, emotions, and other people's needs like you're the only one who's allowed to hold them. And when you finally reach your limit, your mind tries to explain it as failure because it wants a reason that feels controllable. But limits are not shameful. Limits are signals. They are your inner wisdom saying, "Beloved, this is heavy. Let's soften. Let's slow. Let's choose care." So if you're feeling overloaded, it doesn't mean you're broken. It may simply mean you're human and your system is asking for kindness. A little more room, a little less pressure, a little more truth, a little less, says performance. Here is the first thing to say when you feel overwhelmed. Say it softly inside, or let it sit in your mind like a note on the fridge. I stop arguing with myself. I stop arguing with myself. Notice what happens when you say that. Even if nothing changes on the outside, something loosens on the inside. Because so much of overwhelm isn't only the load, it's the second wave. It's the criticism about the load. It's the pressure to be calm, the shame about not being calm, the fear that your feelings are a problem you must solve immediately. It's the internal courtroom where you are both the defendant and the judge, and the verdict is always harsh. My dear, peace doesn't arrive through winning a battle inside your chest. Peace arrives when you stop treating yourself like the enemy. You don't have to dominate your feelings to be safe with them. You can sit beside them the way you would sit beside someone you love who is having a hard day. You can say, "I see you. I'm here. We're going to take this in smaller pieces. Let this be your vow just for today. Today, I will not abandon myself. Today, I will not abandon myself." If you can, rest one hand somewhere comforting. It might be your heart, your belly, your shoulder, your cheek. Not to fix anything, just to signal, "I am here with you." Sometimes that is the most powerful shift of all. Because when you feel overwhelmed, what you are often craving is not more advice. You are craving presence, your own presence. Here is a small truth line to keep close. Kindness creates space. Kindness creates space. Overwhelm likes to speak in a harsh, dramatic voice. It says, "It's all too much. I can't do this. I'm failing." It turns today into forever. It turns one hard moment into a whole identity. But you are allowed to answer with a calmer truth. You can name the load without turning it into a life sentence. You can tell the truth with tenderness. Try this sentence. This is a lot, and I can take it one breath-size piece at a time. This is a lot, and I can take it one breath-size piece at a time. That isn't denial. That's wise pacing. It's you choosing to carry your life in smaller, kinder portions. Because when you try to lift everything at once, your whole being tenses like it's bracing for collapse. But when you choose one breath, one moment, one next step, the body hears, we are not in danger, we are in a moment. And a moment is something you can meet. If your mind argues, but I need to fix it all, you can respond, we will handle what we can in order. You are allowed to do things in order. You are allowed to do them slowly. You are allowed to do them with love. A gentle question for you, sweet one. What is the part of you that feels most pressed for air right now? Is it your mind trying to keep track of every detail? Is it your heart trying to hold everyone together? Is it your body tired of being the last one you listen to? Is it the part of you that's afraid of disappointing someone? You don't have to answer perfectly. Just notice what comes forward, not to analyze it, just to acknowledge it. Now, let's give that part of you something it can trust. Not a lecture, not a demand, a simple, steady phrase. I am willing to be on my own side. I am willing to be on my own side. When you say that, you are not promising that you'll never struggle again. You're simply choosing allegiance. You are choosing to stop turning inward with a clenched fist. You are choosing to speak like a friend, not a critic. Here is another affirmation, gentle and plain. I can be supportive without being perfect. I can be supportive without being perfect. There is a kind of relief that happens when you stop making your feelings wrong. It doesn't mean you like them. It means you stop punishing yourself for having them, and that alone can soften the intensity, because the feelings were already there. The fight was extra. The fight was expensive. Sometimes the mind is like a snow globe that has been shaken all day, thoughts flying everywhere, glittering with urgency, colliding with each other. If you've been trying to calm yourself by shaking harder, by thinking faster, by forcing clarity, of course you feel exhausted. The way you help a snow globe settle is not by scolding the flakes. You set it down. You let gravity do its quiet work. So here is another sentence to say when you feel overwhelmed. I can set this moment down. I can set this moment down. Setting it down doesn't mean you give up on your life. It means you stop gripping it so tightly that you can't breathe. It means you allow a calm corner inside the moment, even if the moment is messy. It means you stop demanding that your inner world look tidy before you allow yourself to feel safe. Some people try to calm down by forcing certainty. They want to know how everything will turn out. They want to predict the next conversation, the next email, the next turn of events. But your peace is not supposed to depend on perfect prediction. Your peace can come from presence, from the simple fact that you are here and you can meet what is in front of you. Let these two lines be a small anchor. I am here. I am safe enough to take the next gentle step. Maybe you don't feel completely safe. That's okay. Safe enough is honest. It's humble. It gives you room. It says, I don't need perfection to continue. I need steadiness. And steadiness can begin with one simple choice: to stop turning your own inner world into a battlefield. If you need another phrase, try this. I don't have to rush to be worthy. I don't have to rush to be worthy. Overwhelm often arrives when the future feels too big. When your mind runs ahead and tries to solve 10 things at once. When your imagination paints every possible outcome and demands you prepare for all of them. It can feel like an emergency broadcast that won't turn off even when nothing is happening in this exact minute. But you are not required to live in 10 tomorrows. You are allowed to live in this minute. Say this: I return to this minute. I return to this minute. And if your mind keeps slipping away, you can gently return again. Not with irritation, with patience. The way you would guide someone home in the dark with a lantern. One step, one step, one step. Now let's talk about feelings, because a lot of people think overwhelm means they have to shut feelings down, or they think it means they have to spill everything all at once. But there is a third way. You can let feelings be present without letting them be in charge. You can feel without drowning. Here is a truth line to remember. Your feelings are visitors, not verdicts. Your feelings are visitors, not verdicts. A visitor can be loud. A visitor can stay longer than you'd like. A visitor can knock at a terrible time. But a visitor is not the owner of the house. You are the one who lives here. You are the one who gets to decide the tone, the pace, the care. So when a feeling arrives, panic, frustration, grief, shame, you can greet it with respect instead of fear. You can say, you may be here, and I will still be kind to myself. Try this sentence. This feeling is information, and I can listen calmly. This feeling is information, and I can listen calmly. Notice the difference between listening and obeying. Listening is wise. Obeying is frantic. Listening says, what do you need me to know? Obeying says, you are dangerous. I must fix you now. And most feelings soften when they are listened to. Not all at once, not on a schedule, but they soften when they are met with safety instead of suspicion. Let this be another vow. I will treat my emotions with respect, not fear. I will treat my emotions with respect, not fear. Sometimes overwhelm is tangled with shame. Shame says, other people handle this better. Shame says, I'm too much. Shame says, I should be stronger. But shame is not a helpful coach. Shame is a heavy blanket that makes everything harder to move through. So let's offer a different sentence. I release myself from the need to be harsh to be effective. I release myself from the need to be harsh to be effective. You can be gentle and still get things done. You can be compassionate and still be responsible. In fact, many people find that when they stop punishing themselves, their energy returns in small, honest ways. Not as a miracle. As a natural response to being treated with respect. Here is an affirmation for that. I work with myself, not against myself. I work with myself, not against myself. If you are overwhelmed, you might be tempted to rush, to speed up, to do more, to prove you can handle it. But there is another kind of strength, the strength of slowing down on purpose, the strength of choosing one small thing instead of everything, the strength of being kind to your capacity. Here is an affirmation you can borrow. I am allowed to move slowly and still move forward. I am allowed to move slowly and still move forward. Let that land. You do not have to earn your right to rest by first becoming perfect. You can rest because you are a living being. You can pause because your inner world deserves gentleness. You can choose softness because it is a sane response to overload. And yes, life may still ask things of you. But you can answer life without abandoning yourself. You can answer with boundaries. You can answer with pacing. You can answer with honest words. Here is a simple permission statement. I am allowed to have limits. I am allowed to have limits. And here is another. My needs matter too. My needs matter too. Now I'm going to give you a simple ritual of words, not magical words, not guaranteed words, just steady words that many people find supportive when their inner world is crowded. You can return to them like you return to a favorite blanket, a familiar song, a cup of warm tea. When you feel overwhelmed, say this. I breathe with myself, not against myself. I breathe with myself, not against myself. When you feel overwhelmed, say this. I do not have to solve everything right now. I do not have to solve everything right now. When you feel overwhelmed, say this. I can choose the next kind step. I can choose the next kind step. And when you feel overwhelmed, say this. Even here, I can be gentle. Even here, I can be gentle. Notice how these sentences do not demand that you be different. They don't shame you into calm. They don't argue with reality. They simply create a gentler relationship with reality. And that relationship matters. Because the voice you speak to yourself with becomes the room you live in. If your inner voice is sharp, rushed, and disappointed, even a quiet day can feel unsafe. If your inner voice is warm, steady, and respectful, even a hard day can feel survivable. So let's build an inner room that supports you. A room with soft light. A room where your mistakes can sit down without being yelled at. A room where your feelings can speak without being punished. A room where you don't have to perform calmness to be welcomed. Here is a sentence that opens that door. My inner voice is becoming a place of rest. My inner voice is becoming a place of rest. If you want to practice this in a simple way, listen for your harshest sentence. The one that shows up when you're tired. The one that sounds like you're behind, or you'll never catch up, or what's wrong with you? You don't have to argue with it. You can soften it. You can translate it. Harshness is often fear wearing armor. Try translating fear into care. Instead of, you're behind, you might say, we're doing what we can. Instead of, you're failing, you might say, this is hard and I'm learning. Instead of, hurry, you might say, one step at a time. Here is an affirmation for that translation. I choose words that help me breathe. I choose words that help me breathe. Overwhelm often tells you, I can't handle this. But sometimes what it really means is, I need support. Support can be external, people, boundaries, time. And support can also be internal, the way you speak, the way you pace, the way you allow yourself to be human. Let's do a small check-in. Right now, what is one thing you can stop doing for the next few minutes? Maybe it's replaying a conversation. Maybe it's rehearsing worst-case scenarios. Maybe it's scrolling for answers you don't actually need. Maybe it's holding your breath. Maybe it's trying to be available to everyone at once. Just one small release. Not forever, just for now. Here is an affirmation for that release. I give myself permission to pause. I give myself permission to pause. And if pausing brings up guilt, you can meet the guilt with kindness too. Guilt often tries to keep you safe by keeping you busy. You can thank it and still choose rest. You can say, I hear you and I'm choosing care. Now, let's talk about the smallest next step. Because overwhelm loves to make everything feel huge. It turns your day into a mountain and then demands you leap to the top. But you are allowed to ask a kinder question, not, how do I fix my whole life? But, what is one kind thing I can do in the next few minutes? That question returns you to reality. And reality is often more workable than the storm in your head. A kind step might be surprisingly ordinary. Some water, slowly. One gentle message today. 3 tasks written down, then 1 chosen. A small stretch, 1 dish washed. A window opened. Clean clothes if needed. Not as a performance, as care. As a way of telling your inner world, I am worth attention. And here is the truth line that keeps you honest and gentle. Small steps are how you come back. Small steps are how you come back. If you want a simple way to choose your next step, keep it to 3 qualities. Make it small. Make it kind. Make it clear. Small, so your system doesn't panic. Kind, so your heart doesn't harden. Clear, so your mind doesn't spiral. Say this with me in your own way. I can do one small, kind, clear thing. I can do one small, kind, clear thing. And if you can't do anything right now, that can be the kind step too. Sometimes the kind step is to stop demanding motion. Sometimes the kind step is to sit and be a person. Sometimes the kind step is to let yourself be held by the moment, even if the moment is imperfect. Here is an affirmation for those times. Rest is aloe, wed. Rest is allowed. Now a short story, because sometimes the mind understands kindness better through someone else's moment. Mina was standing in her kitchen at the end of a long week. There were dishes piled up, laundry half-folded, messages unanswered, and a calendar that looked like it had been written by someone who didn't believe in rest. Her phone buzzed again. She felt that familiar wave rise, the one that starts in the stomach and climbs up into the throat. Her first instinct was to speed up, to prove she could handle it. She started listing everything she needed to do, faster and faster, until the list turned into a blur and her eyes filled with tears. Mina didn't have a dramatic breakthrough. She didn't suddenly love her life. She did something smaller. She put the phone face down. She placed her hand on her chest the way she might comfort a child. And she said out loud, quietly, "I stop arguing with myself." At first it felt strange, like talking into an empty room. But then she felt how tired she was of fighting her own feelings. She noticed the way she had been calling herself lazy, messy, behind. She noticed that none of those words actually helped her wash a dish or answer a message. They only made her feel more alone. So she tried another sentence. "This is a lot, and I can take it one breath-sized piece at a time." She didn't say it like a poster. She said it like a truth. She said it like a handrail. Then she chose one small, kind, clear thing. She filled a glass of water and drank it slowly. She washed one plate. Not the whole sink. One plate. And in that small act, she felt a little dignity return. Not because the kitchen was clean, but because she was no longer treating herself like a problem. That is the point, my love. You don't need a perfect day to feel peace. You need a kinder relationship with the day you have. Let's return to you. If you are overwhelmed right now, it may help to remember this. Overwhelm is often a sign that your inner system is overworked, not a sign that you are weak, not a sign that you are failing at being human. Here is an affirmation for that. I honor my limits with love. I honor my limits with love. You can honor your limits in a few simple ways. You can say no to one thing. You can ask for help in one area. You can lower the bar on one task. You can rest without apology for a moment. You can choose not to explain yourself to everyone. Even one of these can loosen the knot. And if you can't change anything right now, you can still change your stance. You can soften your shoulders. You can unclench your jaw. You can let your breath be natural again. You can let your mind hear a kinder sentence. Here is one. I am doing the best I can with what I have today. I am doing the best I can with what I have today. Notice how that doesn't mean I'm done. It means I'm not cruel. It means you stop adding insult to injury. It means you stop turning your own humanity into evidence against you. Sometimes overwhelm is also grief. Grief for time you don't have. Grief for a version of life that felt simpler. Grief for energy you used to have. If grief is here, you don't have to push it away. You can make room for it without letting it take the whole room. Here is a gentle sentence for grief. I can hold tenderness and keep living. I can hold tenderness and keep living. Now I want to offer you a harbor, not a place where waves never happen, a place where waves can happen and you still have a shore inside. When life is rough water, your words can become a harbor, steady, warm, and returning you to yourself. So choose one sentence as your harbor sentence, one line you will come back to when everything feels like too much. Here are a few options. I am safe enough in this moment. I can take one gentle step. I return to this minute. I stop arguing with myself. This is a lot, and I can take it one breath-sized piece at a time. My inner voice is a place of rest. Pick one that feels true enough, not perfect, true enough. And when your mind runs, come back. When your chest tightens, come back. When you feel yourself trying to fix the entire future, come back. A harbor is not dramatic. It is consistent. Let's do a micro recap so your attention can rest. You are not here to fight yourself. You are here to return to yourself. First, you end the inner argument. Then you name the load with tenderness. Then you set the snow globe down and let it settle. Then you allow feelings to be visitors, not verdicts. Then you choose one small, kind, clear step. Then you speak to yourself as someone you intend to keep. That is enough for now. That is more than enough. If a part of you still insists, but I should be able to handle more, answer it gently. You might say, I know you want me to be safe. Thank you. We are choosing a kinder way. Because that part is often trying to protect you, even if it's doing it harshly. Protection can learn new language. Protection can soften. Here is an affirmation for that inner protector. I listen to myself with love and respect. I listen to myself with love and respect. Sometimes overwhelm includes a subtle fear. If I slow down, everything will catch up to me. But slowing down doesn't mean stopping your life. It means meeting your life with a steadier mind. And steadiness makes better choices than panic does. So if you can, let your next choice be gentle. Gentle is not weak. Gentle is wise. Gentle is how you keep going without breaking your own heart. Say this: I choose gentleness as my strength. I choose gentleness as my strength. And if you're carrying guilt, let's touch that too. Because guilt can add weight quick. My guilt says, you're not doing enough. Guilt says, you're letting people down. Guilt says, you should be different. You don't have to fight guilt either. You can meet it. You can say, I hear you. Then you can choose a truer sentence. Here it is. I release the need to be perfect, to be worthy of love. I release the need to be perfect, to be worthy of love. Worthiness is not a prize you win by exhausting yourself. Worthiness is your starting place. In the spirit of Louise Hay's gentle self-love, you can practice acceptance as a daily devotion. Acceptance does not mean you approve of every situation. It means you stop rejecting yourself while you're in it. Here is an affirmation for acceptance. I accept myself in this moment exactly as I am. I accept myself in this moment exactly as I am. If your mind keeps returning to the same loop, give it a simple job, not an argument. A job. The job is to return to the harbor sentence again and again. No drama, no shame. Just return. I am here. I am safe enough to take the next gentle step. Let that be your chorus, a quiet thread you can hold. And now, another micro recap. You are allowed to be a person with a full life and a tender heart. You are allowed to need space, support, and softness. You are allowed to come back to peace without fighting yourself. If you want to continue this after the audio ends, keep it simple. Repeat your harbor sentence once when you wake up. Repeat it once when you notice stress rising. Repeat it once before sleep. Not because it guarantees anything, but because repetition creates familiarity. And familiarity can feel like safety. You are teaching your inner world, we have a way home. My dear, you do not have to force peace. You can invite it. You can make room for it the way you make room for a friend. You can clear one small corner and let peace sit down. You can stop demanding that the whole house be spotless before you allow yourself to rest. So let's close with the words that hold you. This is a lot, and I can take it one breath-sized piece at a time. I stop arguing with myself. I return to this minute. I am willing to be on my own side. Even here, I can be gentle. May you feel the steady comfort of your own presence. May you feel supported in ordinary ways, by a sip of water, by a quiet boundary, by one honest breath. May you remember that you can come home to yourself again and again, and that coming home is enough. For now, let your next moment be gentle. Let your next thought be kind. And let your life be held not by pressure, but by love.